It is another corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's new and exciting in your world?
Well, just prepping for the Semantics 5-year next month.
Let's talk about it.
5 years.
5 years.
Samantha has a podcast. If you're looking for more things to download, you should definitely like and subscribe her podcast. You can find it Apple Podcasts, easy place to find it, Google Podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And your 5-year is coming up very, very soon. And where is that going to be at?
February 20th at Rock Pit Brewing.
I like Rock Pit a lot.
Yeah.
If you've never been out there, it's a nice excuse to go visit one of the awesome breweries that's popping up locally, and they have a really good beer, and they've been doing it for a minute. You've had like 3, 4, and 5.
We had 2, 3 and 4, and this will be 5. Yep.
Nice. And so head out there. And again, the date on that?
February 20th. It's a Sunday.
There you go.
Mo DeWitt is here. How you doing, Mo?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. So Mo, I don't know if you heard on Friday's show on A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Seth was telling us that you're in the market for possibly buying his boat.
That's what we're starting with?
I thought we were going to talk about some law questions.
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
what's weird to me is that this has bothered him so much that that's so selfish that you would circumvent anything that we would want to talk about on the
He's
show.
so offended.
Well, I was just curious of why.
You know what? You're more sensitive than you tell people.
Yeah.
I'm not that sensitive at all.
All right.
Sounded a little sensitive right there.
I know, right? My God.
No.
Who are you trying to convince?
I know.
I'm just curious why, because, I don't know, maybe because I didn't put it out there, but my boat is always for sale, too.
Oh, I did not know that. See, I wasn't aware that it was for sale.
I mean, everything. Well, hold on.
Everything he has is for sale.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, my life is for sale.
Yeah.
You like
Sure.
for the right price. I think that's like that for everything, right?
I will
everything
say
is for
that
sale.
my sexuality is for sale.
But
like I could do.
if someone offered you a right price, like you like your Ruckus scooter.
I love it. I rode it to get the mail today, and I had 15 minutes of dad fun.
Yeah.
In the rain.
And
it was awesome.
So you love your Ruckus, and you don't want to sell it.
No.
But if for the right price, if someone is like, "Hey, I'll give you $10,000,"
I would sell it for $100 more than I bought it and just buy a new one.
Yeah.
You know, why not?
Yeah.
Just start making money with it.
Yeah. So my point is,
I was going further than that. I was saying that I would be willing to lay with you.
Okay.
For any,
well, that too.
I don't care what sex you are or anything. I would
for the right price.
For the right price, I will lay with you.
So, anyway, so my boat is for sale for the right price, and I'm just surprised, because Seth's boat, is a little more, I would say wakeboardery.
Yeah.
It's a little more
purpose.
Sethy.
It's a purposeful boat in the
Yeah.
fact that I think that boat is like for like a wakeboarding competition or a guy that wakeboards 3 to 5 times a week.
It's a party boat.
Yeah.
Well, it
but
can be
The
used.
BDMs had some other names for it. But,
Yeah. Now Tom's boat though, I would make an argument that Tom's boat is a bit more party in that it's a little more versatile. Your boat a bit more Swiss Army.
Yeah. And if you spill
Whereas-
some stuff on it, you're like, whatever,
Seth's
it's already
boat's a
stains.
little more like a bench-made stiletto. It's a nice knife, but yours more Swiss Army. You can do. What do you want to do? You want to fish? You want to ski? You want a tube? It's got it all.
So,
How am I doing?
I want to offer my services to be your boat broker.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're familiar with what a broker does, but
standard percentage, of
yeah,
course.
I mean, I'll go out and find you the perfect boat for your needs, and I already have in my mind what you need.
You're like a boat matchmaker.
Yeah, and then I'll go out.
Have you done
there.
this before with people? Like match them to their boat, like Harry Potter to a wand?
Never match nothing. But I understand boats, and I think I know you enough, Mo, to understand what you're looking for, and I'm just, if you are, be willing to employ me to do that
Since
for
you've
you.
never talked to Mo about what he is looking for in a boat, I'm surprised that you think that you know him well enough to know what kind of boat he wants.
No, I get that. I know the style, like the lake. I know the style of boating he wants.
Okay, describe his boat
describe
style.
his style.
Well, okay, so I'm imagining, you want to take the family out, and get on the boat, ride around. If the family wants to do a little bit of, kneeboarding or whatnot.
Kneeboarding? What is this, 85?
I mean, because
Nobody kneeboards anymore.
I cannot.
When is the last time
Never.
you've seen a kneeboard?
I just
You're
haven't
the
been-
only person I know that's still waving that kneeboard flag. Dude, kneeboards when at 2003 is the last kneeboard I ever saw.
Well, it's okay, it's more fun sometimes than wakeboarding because it's less work.
It is.
Because
It is.
like wakeboarding.
But most men my age, and I'm not saying anything about Mo, but I'm just saying he's coming in for a landing like me as well. He's just following me. He's following my chemtrails coming to the airport. But your knees get to a point where you can't make that motion. Like you can't get on your knees and then sit on your heels. It's very hard.
No,
because your legs have been lifting babies for years. You can't do it anymore. Kneeboarding is a young man's game, I believe.
Anyway, and then you want to go over to Dog Island and, you sit there, you get out of the boat in waist deep water, and then you drink a beer.
Yeah, drink and pee.
Is this at all what you want, Mo? Or
I mean, he's got the boat part. Floating around the lake.
All right, so we got both. We got both.
We got
Well,
the-
there's only so much you can do with that, and that's the end of my list. I have
But, like-
that's all I've ever done.
But unlike you, Mo strikes me as maybe caring about the aesthetics of his boat. Now, not to say that I don't like the way your boat looks. I do like the functionality of your boat more than Seth's boat. I will give you that. But I will say when I look at your boat, it's a nerd boat. It's a nerd.
Yeah.
It's like a white sneaker, right?
How dare
I
you.
mean, nobody can say my comparison here is not accurate. Like even the chat room, Mo, Sam,
Are you
help
saying
me with it.
I drive the
Yeah, I see what you're
Seinfeld.
saying.
You drive a Seinfeld, like a big white Reebok of a
Yeah.
boat. It's a big Reebok Classics.
Well,
You got the
Thing you buy
big
at Costco.
Samuel L. Jackson.
well, that's what I mean. You look at Seth's boat though. It's like Thunder in Paradise, jet black.
It's
That's kinda-
cooler. No, come on, you got to
Yeah.
give some concessions. If yours is the Swiss Army and can do more, you got to at least admit that your boat is nerdier by design. It's a deck boat. It even sounds nerdy.
Okay.
What kind of boat is it? It's a deck boat.
Yeah,
Nerd.
yeah, there is something dirty about it, but it's like, but there is something that is, more embarrassing. Like, Mo's not gonna drive. You know that. What is that? That car, that soccer player that he basically had chromed out. The entire car was chromed.
That was with Stoke City. Stoke City. There was a. I guess he was a. I think it was a striker from I think South America. Super flashy dude, and he decided to take his Lotus and then chrome the entire car. So the entire
Too
car,
flashy,
the
like-
outside of the car was chrome, and he'd just have people polishing it.
Something about like you drive some Lamborghini or whatever. It's like too flashy where people are like, who do you think you are?
Well, you don't get to
driving
make that
Lamborghini?
decision, though.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I imagine
Or you're
Mo
trying
is
to
one
guide
of
Mo. It's like a style guy.
yeah.
So you're almost like a stylist.
You drive around Conor McGregor's, like he's got, doesn't he get a boat in this
He has
made
a Lamborghini boat. Yeah, he
by
does.
a
Have you seen his boat? It's like green. Oh, it's crazy.
It was too flashy. Whereas like Conor McGregor can get away with it, but if you're a regular,
Are you tough talking, Mo, a little bit in the idea that
I mean,
since you are a boat broker, are you?
I did feel like my neighbors were judging me having that boat in my slip. I'll say that.
No,
much.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like the honesty.
I mean-
I like.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
So you could feel that with that boat, the look of it, there does come some power, or maybe a stigma.
I think stigma is the right word. Like
Okay.
the guy next to me, I think he's probably like in his 80s. I'm sure he's looking over like, who's this guy?
Well, I mean, he
Yeah.
doesn't matter anyway.
And
That
there's a
guy,
nice
no
little
offense.
family down the street. They're like, I got another doucher in the neighborhood.
Okay, all right, I can see that.
Let's transition into my second topic, which is because you're a great lawyer, Mo. I think you can get that public boat ramp shut down because that's what you really need to do and
He
keep the
needs to start swinging his law around a little bit.
yeah, because the
right.
last time I've been out on that lake multiple times, it's me and a bunch of trash people that don't live there. That came from Castleberry.
Yeah, you gotta lock that thing down.
Yeah. And I noticed that a lot of the people that live like Carrot
It's like the
Top.
Springs. I
Yeah.
feel like the Springs, you should there should just jack the price up to like $50 a car, just for one day, just to see what
keep
happens.
the riffraff
just to
out.
see
Yeah.
what happens.
See that public boat ramp, and I know like over the years they try to limit the parking spaces, which has helped. But you just need to shut it down totally and just keep it totally private lake because that's where
That is where it's at.
And then once that happens, and you invite your boat broker over, and then I can use your boat that I found for you every once in a while, and then I got the lake to myself, me and Carrot Top, because he still uses it.
I saw
All the other rich people, they don't use their boats.
I saw a TikTok of Carrot Top where he had pulled his boat up next to some other bros, and they had done the drive-by like cops do, where it's like driver to driver, and they like tied it up. And then they were all shotgunning beers in the lake. Like on the, and I'm like, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna hurt your feelings.
I saw him twice on the lake.
It's gonna hurt your feelings. Carrot Top is more of a party boatman than you are.
Oh, for sure.
Than you are. You don't party on your boat. In fact, the only pictures I see are like your sons and some crabs. Your sons with their heads buried in the sand. It's all just kid stuff.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I've noticed my Instagram. I'm like, it's all kids.
Yeah,
like, who wants to see that?
Mine is
You're old nerd dad now.
Yeah. But I've accepted mine. You're just like, I'm a boat burger, but no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Take your boat.
You're supposed to get my back.
No, I've seen the error of my ways, and during this segment, you're not doing nothing.
So anyway, Mo, I'll be looking out for a nice.
I appreciate that.
I'm looking. I think you need a 20-foot bow rider, right? Like I used to have a 17.5 foot. It was a little too small for you, but a 20-foot bow rider.
How many people on this boat? You thinking?
I mean, like 4.
4 people.
Yeah. That's
right.
perfect. And you can put 6. If you pushed it a little bit, but and then you get something new. You don't want to go Bayliner. That's what
Did Seth give you the particulars on everything that he's done to the boat?
Oh, I got the whole speech.
Yeah, but was it the real speech? Because I know the number of things that
he's selling it on Facebook Marketplace.
I mean, oh my God, that's when you put it up for $1, and it's the scam where you call.
No, but I saw a bunch of BDMs clowning them because it's on Facebook Marketplace already.
He did steal the Tom Van thumbs up too.
I saw that. You should start locking that down.
What is Seth doing, by the way? Like he's
freaking out.
He just bought this boat. He's selling it again. Why? Like who's got the time to buy boats, sell it? Like,
he's selling.
He's buying a new one.
He doesn't work, right?
I guess apparently not.
Here's what I understand.
My wife brothers. She's like, "How rich is he?" I'm like, "I thought it was way less than it was."
Because he's a cheapo, so he saves all his money.
Is that? But how much money could he have made?
I think it's surface rich, like when you freak out and then you just spend a lot of money you have in savings, and then
that's true because he is trying to rent out his house like a poro. That's weird.
Yeah,
right?
there's some weird. There's some freak out.
Let's talk about that, Mo, because
did you see
you're a lawyer.
Did you see how unstable he was when he was trying to sell the boat to you? Did you like? I mean, did you look into his eyes?
I mean, the boat's in great shape. If everyone wants a nice boat, it is in great shape.
Well, the exterior, but I know the details of the inside.
He's used it 5 times.
It's never been used really.
Well, he left the boat at my house, and I took it out with the family. I'm driving around. One thing I didn't realize is the windows of the boat are tinted. So I can't see through the damn window.
That's because he wanted to make it cool. I told him not to tint his windows.
He does dumb things.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't tint boat windows. He's like, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna be able to see through.
Me look like Ocean Batman. Stop. Just
because he's more worried about how it looks than utilizing it.
That's why for a boat for Seth, what he likes to do is just stand beside it and sell it. That's what he likes to do. He doesn't like to be on the boat. He likes to have the boat. This is what I have and sell it.
That's why my white Seinfeld boat is more utility, more
practical.
I can't argue with that. You got some mud on your Seinfelds.
But then, so I can't see through the windshield. So then I stand up to see over it. And because he has all these speakers on the tower, I nail my head on the speaker.
Yeah.
So I give up, put the boat back in the slip, and I'm done.
Don't even get me started on he's got street glow under it that illuminates the water.
You got 4 Bose, like gigantic speakers.
So it's like 10.
No, it's more than 4. It's like literally 4,000. He says $4,000 worth of audio components on that boat.
Yeah,
right?
It's ridiculous.
So the guy wakeboarding 30 foot behind you could hear crystal clear music. You could hear the bass bump.
I don't know.
No one needs that.
I don't know if Mo's wife, while she's wakeboarding, needs System of a Down at 5,000 decibels.
Yeah.
It's not needed.
Yeah. Plus, all your neighbors are gonna be bitching if you have the music up too loud.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with that lake.
But you got to take it out, free boat for a little while.
We literally took it for like 2 minutes. After I nailed my head, I was like, I'm going back in.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Not the boat for you.
Nope.
What about now? May I interest you in EJ's jet skis? They're about 12 years old.
I do have a jet ski lift. I mean, we could put it there for a
while.
while.
Really?
Let's talk jet skis. Supercharged jet skis.
Yeah.
And that's what you need.
Yeah, the ones that blow your wife's Costa del Mar's off.
And now we can get a good price on what I like to call the COVID skis, which are the jet skis people bought when COVID first happened, and now they're selling them because they never use them.
You can scoop up those Pelotons too, man. Everybody's coming out of the sunshine. They're like, I didn't like the gym anyway. anyway, I bought this because I thought I'm still fat.
And once everybody got Omicron, they're just
Yeah.
like, screw the jet ski, I'm back at it.
Yeah.
You know, they're
I think
selling it.
now's a good time to buy boats.
I think, although it's still, the market is crazy, just like cars too.
Yeah.
It's impossible to find anything.
Well, that's the thing is I've been on a wait list to get a boat for, I don't know, like 6 months. And
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it never had now like caught up to itself. Like, and that's an interesting point because I make that joke, but it really hasn't happened yet, and there hasn't been like an influx of people selling their stuff because like pandemic's not over and people are still doing that stuff. And I think it switched people's mindsets to like, hey, I'm gonna do more outdoors activities, and I don't think that's going anywhere. So kind of stinks because it just makes everything, if you're into that stuff, harder to find and more crowded
and more expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So let me ask you a law question, Mo, and this has to do with fireworks.
That is technically why I come here, I guess.
What?
We like it too much to make it work.
Yeah.
We just, sit here and shoot it a little bit.
So New Year's just happened, and it's a fireworks type of celebration, right? Just like 4th of July, New Year's. And I think a lot of more holidays are becoming more fireworks centric. Like I hear fireworks now for I think Halloween. People are setting off some fireworks or whatever. Like now
we're gonna get digital fireworks.
or some sort of like drone, like your fireworks drones go out and put a show on for you and then go back to your garage.
And then they just die. It's just more trash. I just scoop up my
quieter.
Neighbor's
just
house.
my disposable Japanese drones. I just scoop them into the trash.
Speaking of trash, as I was setting off fireworks in my cul-de-sac, and
I was there.
and embers and trash is littering my neighbor's roofs.
It looked like the tree, you know, when they burn the tree in Avatar and the embers are falling down. And if you're a dumb old man like me, I was future dumb old man. I had my glasses on, my 3D glasses. I was like, oh my goodness. I was out there like touching them with my hands. You know, I was like putting my hands out with the 3D technology. That's exactly what it looked like.
So I did think to myself, like, if these embers or whatever that were still, I mean, red hot as they landed on my neighbor's roof and my neighbor's solar panels and all this stuff, which I did think, I was like, it's going to burn a tiny black dot into their solar panel.
See,
right?
now I had the opposite idea. I was like, firework is just nighttime sun. I was like, you're powering
charge your
them
blender.
Yeah, they should actually. Yeah, I charged them one
Charge
light.
them up.
You should give me a couple bucks.
Yeah.
You know, or be at least lenient on my fireworks. They're charging your home.
So I did think to myself, I was like, if this ends up starting my neighbor's house or some leaves on fire or something, like doing some sort of damage to my neighbor's house.
But you and I did the same thing. We told our wives, we're like, it's too moist right now. A lot of rain.
Yeah, we're
Guaranteed.
good.
Guaranteed.
We have no idea how.
It's
Like,
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's like the mosquito Nix commercial.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
It's too humid to start a fire.
Nope.
We're not in Colorado here.
Exactly. I stand behind
Like
it.
we're in a swamp basically. So, but we didn't know.
We didn't know.
If I did start
I just
a
didn't want
fire,
anybody taking my fireworks away.
yeah, exactly. Am I going to be responsible for that? Like, could they say, "Hey, your fireworks burnt my house"?
Well,
and
that would be
family
the
down.
evidence, right? They would be like, well, only one person near us set off fireworks. It was you. You're right there. The trash can is in front of your house with all the stuff inside of it. There's the evidence, right?
Have you heard of anything like that, Mo?
Yeah, I mean, if you start a fire, you're responsible for the damage.
What?
Yeah, but like
Pretty
these,
straightforward.
So like these people when
But
they do
it's
the
just-
gender reveals and they burn down, like how does that?
Oh,
what
they
happened
go
to
to
those
jail.
people? So they burned down like half a state.
Right.
I think they're in jail, like doing hard time. I think.
No.
I think so. Yeah, they arrested that couple in California.
Yeah, what happens with that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can't afford it, they'll like put you on a payment plan, or you just have a judgment against you.
Well,
But-
you don't go to jail, right?
Well,
Where you're like,
it depends if you committed a crime. Obviously, if you were just lighting off fireworks and it was an accident, and there was no crime committed, then you wouldn't go to jail. If it's something more,
Yeah,
than
if there was
that,
like a
then-
fireworks ban in Florida and you lit them off, then they're
Right, that's
therefore,
different.
Yeah. And there was like that's why that couple went to jail for the gender reveal because there was like a ban on any sort of explosives or fireworks, and they disregarded that, set a fire. Therefore, they
Right.
were negligent, and that's where
That is
Right.
like
and
a-
they were breaking the law, which caused damage, and there was
I would
aggravating
vote that
factors.
one of the worst things to go to jail for because like people will ask you, "What are you in jail for?" And you're like, "Well, I started these massive fires that like destroyed hundreds of or thousands of homes.
Yeah. I think actually like
and
people
even
died.
killed some people
They
too.
did get
Oh,
charged
geez.
with arson and involuntary manslaughter, but they're asking for the charges to be dismissed. That was as of last month.
Oh, you would
Well,
do
of
that
course
too,
you
right?
asked for that.
Of course, yes.
I'll ask for all my charges to be dismissed.
Every time, no matter what.
First things first. You ask the judge, you're like, first things first, will you, can we be cool, bro? And the judge is like, absolutely not. I'll hold you in contempt. And what you're even saying right now is disrespectful. You're like, hey, just, all
Please
right.
put shoes on.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah. It's like at least I tried.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like asking the hot girl out.
No.
Every once in a while, it's going to work. It doesn't ever work. Doesn't
So
work.
I know we had a couple law questions. One concerning an HOA, correct, Samantha?
Yeah, basically,
Oh, I have one of these too.
they raised the rate by $10 a month, which is really nothing anyway, but they didn't notify him, and he's wondering if there's any
So typically,
ramifications for that.
you have to do a vote to modify the rates because an HOA is basically a contract. It's a contract that runs with the land. So when you buy a house there, you're subject to the contract. And usually the contract, which is the declaration or the covenants of the condominium, say how they can increase the rates. Usually there has to be an election. You have to vote on it, and it has to pass by a certain percentage, whatever the documents say.
Gotcha. So I mean, now more than ever, I feel like it is important to read what you're signing. Like I make the joke all the time about who like insignificant contracts like with your cell phone company or you're buying insurance or whatever. People just sign it because they're too lazy to go. You just scroll through, especially now where most things are. You're not writing, you're signing something physical.
Yeah.
You're just clicking a button on the internet.
I mean, the cell phone one, you bring that up, that was one of the first in my young adult man life. The cell phone, I don't know if most picking up what I'm laying down here, but that was one of the first ones that I ever, I think that actually taught me to become an adult. Because I remember wanting to get out of my cell phone plan, and I was I was maybe either 19 or 20. Like, I'm right around that 19, 20, 21, early 20s, late, teens. And I remember thinking, well, I want to get out of this. Like, I could just get right out of it. And then I remember them going, no, you owe us $200. So I remember being, $200? You're insane. You can't do that to me. I'm an American. You're a fool. I remember thinking, I'm just showing how stupid I am. I remember thinking, honestly, in my Daniel brain thinking, there's $200. I'm not paying $200. There's no way you can even do that. And then I learned real quick, you signed the contract. If you want to end this early, you got to pay the $200 to get out of it. And I didn't have the $200 because the reason I was breaking it was I was chasing some stupid phone trend and I wanted the newest phone. And I was like, oh, they only have it on X. They only have it on Sprint, so I'll leave T-Mobile, right? That's what I was doing. And they're like, no, you get $200. And I remember it blew my mind. I was like, well, you can't make me. Yes, they can.
Ooh,
and then I became a man.
Which I forgot about. They used to have certain phones exclusive with certain companies for a period of time. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, well, I'm an old man. See, that was my world. You're younger than me, so.
Mo, I got a question for you that has to do with car accidents. So I just thought of this,
You
by
need
the
to
way.
tell us something?
segue.
You need to tell us something?
So when I used to live in Miami, I remember when I got my first truck and had to get insurance and all that stuff, people in Miami were telling me, don't bother. I think this was maybe before, we're talking about in the late 90s, that they would suspend your license if you had a vehicle registered under your name without insurance or whatever. But I remember people legitimately telling me, don't bother getting insurance. No one else has any down here. So even if you get in an accident, you're screwed anyway.
I remember you
And then that was people's mindset in Miami. Who cares? No one's got insurance, so it doesn't matter anyway. And that leads me to, if you do get in an accident with someone that doesn't have a car insurance, are you screwed, basically? There's nothing, there's no recourse?
If you don't have uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, you could be. So that's where if someone hits you and hurts you and they don't have any coverage to cover you, or cover the injuries they cause to you, which you can legally be on the road and not have bodily injury coverage, which is what covers that. So that's why you want uninsured motorist coverage, especially in Florida, because our limits are garbage. There's 50% of the people on the road without insurance. So if you can afford it, and it's usually not very expensive, add what they call coverage to your policy.
So then your own insurance covers it.
Right. So what happens is your own insurance steps into the shoes of the at-fault driver, so it doesn't raise your rates unless you have a ton of claims. But they step into the shoes of the at-fault driver so that you can get your medical bills paid for and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. And that seems like the smartest thing to do because you don't want to be screwed. Like, imagine, your car gets totaled, you're injured, you got medical bills, and you have and there's no way. That's it. Like, the person's like, I know some people like that. I have no insurance, and I've got nothing for you. You go ahead and sue me. I've got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people like that.
So I've been wanting to get a golf cart for around this area. And I got golf cart fever. I haven't told you about this.
No, okay.
I haven't told you about
it's
this.
It's a new thing?
Well, it's not a new thing, but it's something I think I've actually been trying to, fight it. Push it out of my mind because I know as soon as I start...
I've seen a lot more golf carts on the road.
There's a lot more golf carts everywhere.
But I don't want... But, it's becoming, more commonplace where people are like, well, we can just use these instead of these big cars. We don't need the SUV. Just take the kids to school. Just put them in the golf cart. And they're all buckled in. I see them every morning. So I want one so bad. But I want one that we can park out here. We have the perfect little unit where we could pull it up and then charge it right there. Just like they do over here. Nobody's going to steal it. You lock it up. You just run a chain through it, right? It's fine.
Well, you just leave it there. I mean,
you just leave it there.
You get insured, and if they do steal it, you get a new one. Yeah.
So, but what I have been seeing, and I am not ratting anybody else out. I don't want you to think that I'm being not a cool neighbor, but I have seen an influx of golf carts that are awesome around here that are not legal.
Yeah.
They do not have tags. They have nothing that you need. Guy just went out, bought a golf cart, and then said, they ain't going to do nothing.
Yep.
What am I looking at? I have decided that I'm brave enough. As you get older, you get more brave, right? Because you're like, what are you going to do to me? Lock me up, just kill me. I want to be dead anyways. You get to a point where you're just like, I don't care anymore. Yeah. So I am prepared to dumb old man a golf cart out here and just start driving it around here. What am I looking at? I think they just pull me over and I'll just talk it. I didn't know. I just plead ignorance.
I mean, at some point, I think they're going to crack down on that because there's so many on the road.
But if we all do it, Mo, they can't get us all.
That's what I heard. Yeah. No triangle on the back, no license plate, no tag, no seatbelts for the kids that are sitting in the back, except for the guy I see in the morning that's got there's one guy I see, he's got everything DOT, and then his kids even have car seat in the front for the baby. And then his kids in the back have seatbelts.
Full on safety.
Unbelievable.
I think it's
expensive.
$500 to $800 to modify your golf cart to make it street legal because you got to get a $150 license plate. You got to get a DOT windshield.
You need that thing in the back. There's a thing you got to have. It's and then you got to put
sticks up with the little triangle.
Yeah, you got to put the triangle in the back. But half of them don't have it. Right when you leave here today.
Well, that triangle's cheap.
I am not ratting them out. Well, I could I would be willing to do that. I just don't want to pay the money to the state. I just want to. I'll put everything on there myself.
Registration, but I think it's cheaper just to pay because I think it's just you're illegally. I know this because my brother used to get them for riding his dirt bike on the street. You're riding an off-road vehicle or not a registered vehicle on the roads, and it's like a $60 ticket. But if the cost is $600 to modify your, I'd rather just pay the $60 ticket. Although you
$200 ticket. The chat
it's $200.
Well, Grady Judd says it's $200. Apparently, the same ticket in Polk County is $200. So I don't know if what that would be.
The problem is if you get in an accident or someone gets injured, then you can really get in some trouble if something really.
You know what? I'm just stupid enough, Mo, to think in a golf cart I'll never get in an accident because I could just the car's coming. I'm like, it's fast. It's like power on demand electric. I'm like, I'll get out of the way.
Yeah. Well, if
I'll just get out of the golf cart and walk, and you hit my golf cart.
If they run into
you see it coming.
That's the thing.
Like T-bone you running the stop sign like they like to do here.
I'm the most aware in my golf cart.
Yeah. And plus, it'll rocket me straight out of there because there's no way I'm wearing a seatbelt.
No, I've got that plastic piece like they have at the golf course. That's going to hurt when I go through that.
Yeah. Especially with DOT, makes it stronger.
You know that piece of plastic they put? I'm like,
you fold it down.
Yeah, you fold it down. I'm like, this is unnecessary. I want to kick it out.
So I imagine, dude, after, and we'll end with this.
He's going to get off his wallet. You know how I know? Whenever he says dude, he's happy about something. He never calls me dude. When he says dude, he's like, oh, you want a golf cart too? I'm buying one today. Yes, I'm getting a golf cart.
I've seen an influx of one-wheels, electric scooters.
You saw the kids.
I
saw the one-wheel kids. There's one-wheel kids over here, and he got to see them, but he hasn't seen their dad, who's like a good-looking Viking with a top knot and a beard and tattoos all over his body, and he's greasy.
What it's going to do is it's going to ruin it for the rest of us because the more and more, because now, I'm not joking. I've only seen me on a one wheel on that path, like what's it called? God, whatever it's called. Like it was a walking path that goes over to a playground.
Kittyway Trail? Or?
Not Kittyway, it's a Kewanee Trail.
The Kewanee Trail, yeah, I know.
And but this after Christmas, I was riding with my sons, and they were on their hoverboards, and we passed like.
Oh, so nobody else can have fun but old Tom Van?
I know, but
Well, I mean, I don't want to say
I'm fine
this.
with it.
Now, hold on a second. I don't
I'm
want to
just
say
saying
this, but
it's
you
gonna
and your
ruin
son
it.
should not be on that trail.
Well, now
Because that is a motor. That's no motorized vehicles. In fact, don't
Oh,
get
we've
me,
already- yeah,
don't
it's
even
already-
get me started on e-bikes.
There
Because
was-
every
Oh, boy.
fat guy in Orlando got
Yep.
an e-bike, and so I'm
there's
sitting.
a dozen other kids on one wheels,
but they're
on
not
electric
pedaling.
scooters.
They're like if
Yeah.
you.
But it's
this-
going to ruin it. They're going to crack down, and they're going to put giant signs.
They are because here's my problem with e-bikes.
And then where are we supposed to go?
Well, on the road. Because you have a
Then
vehicle.
we're gonna die.
No. Hey, well then start pedaling like the rest of us and use like if
Use
you
your
got,
legs.
Yeah, use your legs because like I get so mad at the e-bikes. They rip down the Kittyway Trail and I'm riding a regular powered bike, powered by my legs. And these fat dads are on their e-bikes just ripping through Maisie, all these, and I'm like, that's not even a bike.
Yeah.
You're not even pedaling. Your feet are on the pedals, but you're
so
just
much better.
But you're just I mean, I guess, but it shouldn't be on the thing. I mean, it's a scooter.
Well,
Right.
it's up to them to be responsible, and of course, humans are never going to be responsible, and it's just going to ruin it. But when I saw like literally 6 other kids, like 2 on one wheels and then other electric stuff, I was like, "Oh, that's it." Well, I'm like, because for sure, just like when any good thing gets ruined by people,
Yep.
and that's
Brock
what's gonna
BDM
ruin.
in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. He says there's a one-wheel guy in my building who rides that S inside down the hallway, and I told him to his face, if he runs into me or my wife, I'm going to jam it up his A. He avoids me now.
Well, you're too aggressive. He's just minding his business.
You can't be riding that thing through the hallway.
You can't. Why do you
Come on,
always
man.
defend the jerky one-wheel guys?
Listen,
Because
I
he's
always-
one of them.
I can ride my one wheel with such precision.
He's really good at
that
it.
I'll never run over
He is
anybody's
really
feet.
good at it.
I'm more precise than walking.
I saw him.
Yeah, we almost saw you roll your ankles.
Sam, he gizmo ducked up with a trash can, and he has a tiny T-shirt on in his headband. He gizmo ducked up with a trash can. He picked up all the fireworks, put them in the trash can, and then he gizmo ducked the trash can back. And I kept calling him future trash. It was amazing. He's really, really good at it. But I still don't want you inside doing it, man. And you shouldn't be on the bike path. It's a path for humans to use non-mechanical vehicles.
By the way, Mo, speaking of one wheels, are you looking to sell your one wheel yet? I know
It's nicely collecting dust in my
I
garage.
know. I mean, can I, make an offer and consider it or whatever?
We'll talk about the boat brokerage, one wheel
Okay,
exchange
right.
system.
Maybe Mo could loan it to you for a weekend like Seth did the boat, and you could try it out a little
I
bit.
can loan you my boat if no one uses it.
Hey, why don't you trade your boat
Uh,
to him for the one wheel? And that's
Yeah,
an
we'll call it
even
even.
swap, and then that way you guys won't feel like that way. At least you'll trade him back, but at least you won't feel like he's got one on
Yeah,
you
yeah.
or something like that.
I think my boat's too wide for your canal. And you'll never
Whoa!
get out of there.
My goodness. My goodness.
No, you know what I'm saying.
I'm blushing, sir.
Sorry, Mo. We'll talk off air about that. The wide
My
canal.
God, tuna can Tom over here.
No. All right, justcallmo.com. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. Easiest way
Jazz and Mo.
is just to go to justcallmo.com,
Yep,
correct?
absolutely.
Yep,
Perfect.
JustCallMo.com. Anything else?
Nope. Thank you very much for coming by, Mo.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you next month. If you need anything, any boat advice, I'll be looking, Facebook Marketplace.
$1 Jordans. Jordans,
Yeah, yeah,
$1.
yeah. You
What's
gotta-
the scam?
Yeah. You gotta. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, I don't have any like documentation for this boat," but then you can go to Georgia, get it registered. I'll tell you about it.
Oh, I did that with my
Perfect.
scooter.
Yeah.
I had to get
States that
I
will
had to get
register
a
anything.
judge in Louisiana
Yeah.
because the VIN numbers don't match on the engine and the frame, and he had to weigh in on it because I had to sell it to him and then buy it back for $1 in order for him to put the VIN number in my name. It's really shady.
Oh, yeah.
But it's all done. But it's done.
Yeah.
So now
just
it's not
weird,
shady.
yeah.
When it's done, it's not shady. It was shady up until the point where, like, if you get caught, and now I'm done. It's like it's already scheduled. And
I'll get you a deal. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So, me and Daniel just got an email from a producer from Inside Edition
Yeah, booking producer for the show Inside Edition featuring Deborah Norville.
that wants to interview us about talking to Bob Saget last week, which we both agree is odd for them to want to interview us.
Oh, they want us in the next 30 to 45 minutes. He says, thanks for the reply. Our show tapes at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Is there any chance you'd be free in the next 30 to 45 minutes?
Yeah.
What are we going doing a live shot
I
with
think you're
Deborah
going to be on
Norville?
Inside Edition, guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on Inside
Well, then
Edition.
don't do it.
No, I mean, because, me and Daniel, we have to run this business as smart as possible, and it is smart to get on Inside Edition in some manner and promote ourselves, I guess. Although it feels cheesy to do it in this manner where they're talking about Bob Saget's death, in which we have no idea.
Just happened yesterday.
Yeah, and then it just happened, and I feel like, a lot of media, because it's the hot story, just wants to glom onto it, and people want to, there's more information about it. You want to release something to get clicks,
Right.
and that's how it all is. But we don't want to, us personally, me and Daniel, we don't want to profit in any way or promote ourselves in any way. And the fact that this person just passed away and he was on our show last week, that's irrelevant.
Right.
So I don't want to profit or promote ourselves in any way that is associated with Bob Saget and his death, because that feels cheesy to me.
I agree.
And it feels not right? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, look we interviewed him last week. What does that have to do with anything? And what are we're trying to promote ourselves on the back of someone passing away? That's
Right,
horrible.
right.
I don't want to do that.
Naturally, that's not our thing.
So, but
No.
Inside Edition
No.
and every other media outlet out there, because they're a corporation, they have to do that because their life is, and everything is about clicks and views and everything. And, they get pressure from their bosses like, oh, more of this. This is what's hot right now, right? Because it's like Bob Saget's passing away is all over every media. So they have to grab a hold of anything they can.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of info about what happened yet, so I'm sure they're just
Yeah.
And
The only
reaching
thing
out to
I-
anyone that talked to him recently.
Yeah, the only
Exactly.
thing I wouldn't
And
want to
if-
do is to have something used and then look at it and be like, ugh, I don't like that.
or something's taken out of context and we
which,
look like
which I know
jerks.
that's a thing
Well,
that people do now.
for sure.
I don't
You
think-
got to get the headlines and the clicks.
Me and Daniel are good enough, I feel like, to do an interview and not step, or put our foot in our mouths or anything like that, although you can break, cut up anything and make so. But then again, it's like, what is it going to do? I'm really at the point now where it's like our listeners are our listeners. Yes, I'd love to get new listeners, but I care about the people listening more than I care about potential new listeners, if that makes sense, right? I care about BDMs and the people listening to the show right now, the people in our Twitch chat room, those are the people that matter more than possibly getting some invisible listener out there that's
No.
but that's what giant corporations do. They constantly
Cast the net.
they look for those invisible. The numbers got to be more, and we got to get more listeners and more viewers and more clicks, but without catering to the people that already listen to them. Which we've agreed that let's cater to the people that already listen to us and support us. Those are the ones that matter the most. And so that's our whole mindset here. So I'm less worried about, getting potential new listeners than I am about catering to our own listeners. But
Also, are the watchers of Inside Edition really going to be
No.
into our podcast?
no,
You know what I mean?
And how much does that matter? That's why I was interested in the TMZ, since TMZ put a link.
TMZ ran the story and they linked us and put about a minute of our clip of our interview with him already on their front page of their website, so
Don't be taking our clip, dogs.
everyone's going to see that.
Put our clip up there. Use
and
our
start
clip.
reaching out to us.
But
Reach out to me. I'll clip it, put it on our service. That way we get the download when they hit the click.
so I don't know
Give it
how.
a click.
But
No,
I don't
I'm
know how.
joking. I don't care.
I don't know how
I
much
just don't
that
care.
matters. But
It doesn't to me because we're talking about. It's a sad thing. So
But as a business and the fact that we need to successfully run this business so that we all have jobs, right? And so that's our main motivation, is to keep the business rolling, because there's no one, there's no one funding this. It's us, right?
Right.
It's all of us in this room, and we run the small business, and that's what gives us our paychecks each month. And so it's like, if we want to be responsible and I feel like turning down the interview with Inside Edition is irresponsible in
I agree.
business terms.
I agree.
But also, what the hell are we going to talk to him about what kind of questions. If I know,
I guess
maybe
we'll find out.
Yeah, you can email him back and say, "Can you give me a list of the questions you're going to ask me so I can prepare?"
Yeah.
Well, then I think you're being difficult.
Then
because
just don't give the
Well,
interview.
we'll
You know
just
what I
see-
mean?
no,
We'll
like
just
I
see
want
what they do.
Let's do the interview.
Yeah, we'll just do
and
it.
me and Daniel can roll with anything. Like
I'll roll with it. If I don't like it, I'll just hang up Zoom. I don't care. Like, what?
well, no, but it's not even that. Like, what could they ask us that we wouldn't want to answer? Because there's nothing we don't. It's like we're not. What could we not answer? I guess they ask some generic thing. It was like, what did he seem like the last time you interviewed him? We're like, he seemed like.
Did he seem healthy? That's
Yeah.
what they're going to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know his health. You know what I'm
Are
saying?
you gonna
Like,
say it like that? You gotta say,
I
I,
mean,
don't
you
know his
can.
health.
If anyone goes back and listens to the podcast, we do make mention that he said that he was sick.
yeah.
He does. Well, that's on Twitch. That wasn't in the actual interview.
No, it was.
When we're
There
doing,
was.
Oh,
was there?
Yeah,
but
because
it wasn't like when he.
but-
But when he first called and we talked to him via Twitch, I know he said something that was
Right.
very,
That
very
was
much
not on
like-
air, but we did
Yeah.
mention after we hung up with him, because that's also put on the headline of the TMZ. We did mention that, oh, yeah, we know he was sick. He didn't really want to talk about it. We did mention that on the show.
But he alluded towards it was a cold or
Right.
something
Yeah.
because he had
Right.
cold symptoms, and he mentioned
He had
'cause-
already mentioned that he had already previously had COVID.
Yeah,
yes,
because
so-
we all had COVID, and we were like, he's like, oh, I dealt
Yeah,
with
see,
it
I
too.
don't
It's
want to
bad.
play that game though.
Right.
I don't want
And the fact that he joked about he might die from COVID. He said that on
Yeah,
our show.
that I
People are
don't-
running that headline now.
That I don't want to get into.
Right.
Like if they start going into like him being sick thing, I'm like, I
Of course
don't know.
they will.
I
The
don't know
pandemic's the
anything about
number one story in the world
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Of course they're going to go into that.
That and but it's like, why did you interview two guys
Podcasters,
like
yeah.
that have a podcast in Orlando that talk to him for 20 minutes promoting his Hard Rock Live show? How are we supposed to know anything about him?
And then Christine says they'll tear you apart online. Well,
that doesn't matter. That I could care less about that because those people won't listen.
yeah, they don't matter in
it
our
doesn't
world
matter.
anyway.
Like, who
Yeah.
cares?
They're outside of the world.
And so, like, honestly, I don't know. I'll leave it up to the chat room because they're our number one listeners that listen to our content first, right?
Yeah,
Everybody like what?
Most people are saying we're overthinking it. Yeah, I think
I know.
so. I don't think it'll be bad. I'm gonna go into it with a shred of positivity. I've been trying to run my year like that so far.
Yeah.
We're 10 days in, and you and I both had talked about this.
Does it come off as cheesy? I don't want us to be like.
It does. I think it does. I think no
cheesy.
matter what, it comes off cheesy because you're doing an interview about a guy who died.
Right.
That's my
Yeah,
my opinion.
and we don't know him personally.
Yeah, that's
We're not
my
his
opinion.
friends.
Is you know what? I just not do it. That's my. Even though I want the publicity, I do, and I like our show. I think it's super funny. I think we have the best show in Orlando. I've always said that, but I don't know.
I think we'd be doing a disservice to the business if we didn't do the interview. But
Are we doing a disservice to our listeners and what they think of us if we do the interview?
well, who the hell watches the Inside Edition? No one. Like,
Memos.
yeah, anybody in the chat room watch Inside Edition? I didn't even know that still existed. I'm not joking. I thought that ended when Billy Bush and the whole,
Right,
was that
right.
Inside Edition?
I mean, we
I
could
think
ask
so.
them that.
I-
The first thing we could ask.
I thought they like that.
They want
when
to chat in
cable TV
45 minutes, so we'll
that's fine.
we'll be on there at 2:45.
I-
You'll both be on
here-
the same screen, right?
I just want to. Now I want to do it just for
Oh,
the.
no, he was
entertain-
Access Hollywood.
Oh,
Billy
actually,
Bush.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, it's all the same.
No, this is rungs lower. Inside Edition is rungs.
Is it rungs lower?
Rungs lower. And I believe that.
Yo, go and look up what's on Inside Edition
I
right
think
now.
it's
What is
isn't
it?
it ultra conservative or something? Look, we're not.
Is it?
I'm not playing that game. We're not doing those games. I'm
Um,
just saying. I think it might be.
Get our red hats.
Yeah, get our red
Oh,
hats.
man.
Go to the closet. I said we'd never do it again, but get them out. Fire them up. Fire up the hats.
Oh, yeah. Because now I just want to make our listeners laugh.
talked to him. We talked to him, man.
Because
I don't
honestly,
know, man.
could you?
That's what they expect, right?
Could
from
anybody?
Florida?
Okay, without.
Well, the number one headline is Bob Saget passed away. That's number one.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But is it? Could anybody in the chat room, without looking, don't cheat, tell me when Inside Edition is on and what channel?
Nobody
I could
can.
tell you what it used to be. I think it was like 7 p.m.
Channel
on
6.
CBS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was a network show.
Yes, it's network.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it still a network show?
Yeah.
Or okay. And
34 seasons.
I wonder how
Yeah,
many
but
people watch
Survivors
it.
had like 100 seasons because
Yeah,
they're
that's
like, we do
true.
9 seasons a year.
Yeah, that just means it's cheap.
Yeah.
You know, it's cheap to produce.
This show's cheap because it's people who are desperate for money.
Yeah, or fame.
Cue the gay naked fat guy.
Yeah. So any show that has been on for an extraordinary amount of time that you're like, how does that still been on? You're like, it's cheap to produce.
Yeah.
You know, so it's more expensive to take it off. It's got some advertisers, and it's fine.
It says it's the nation's #1 syndicated news magazine.
Wait a minute, I thought we were the nation's #1 syndicated news
Everybody
magazine.
says that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, we're #1.
The #1 show.
Yeah. Like,
What does that even mean?
It can't be, like, first, there are more people like that saw the latest Island Boy video than watched the last episode of Inside Edition. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what does that even mean anymore?
That's true.
Anyway, so I guess
we got some time, so we're lined up. We're going to be talking to
so
Todd.
if I guess if you know what channel or what time
CBS.
Okay.
What time? Did you find the
let
time?
me
Is it
find
on
the
like
time.
3 a.m. or something?
watch
like
it.
that?
Inside
No, I mean, they
Edition.
might do a replay.
And also nowadays, like a lot of these shows have like their main show that they air on,
They want us to stay on Twitch while we do the interview.
7:30
Okay, we
can do
p.m.
that.
7:30 p.m. on CBS.
I can do that.
and then so
Eastern Standard Time.
So they have their main content for their main show, and then they have like web content now.
Wait,
so
are we
it's-
going to be web content?
I don't know.
I don't
That's
wanna
what I
be
mean.
web
Well, that's what I
content.
mean. Like, because you could be like, oh, I'm going to be on this. It's like, remember
No,
when,
I think this is too big of a story. I think they'll put you guys on
but
the TV.
Oh, I'm not
But
going to
it's-
be able to watch it. It makes me uncomfortable. Are you going to watch it? You're not going to watch it. You don't watch nothing.
I don't. No, hell no. I
You don't
wouldn't even.
have-
I got Hulu.
I'm
Is
the
it on
only one that
Hulu?
can watch it because I still have cable.
I got Hulu at CBS, right? I'll be doing better. I don't ever watch.
can't
anything.
watch it.
I
There's
gotta
no
watch
way I
our
can watch
news
it.
hits and all this stuff because I'm like,
I
oh,
watch
you
our
idiot.
news hits and I'm like, how fat? I thought you lost weight. I look at me, I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I judge myself. I'm like, look how ugly and disgusting you are.
Yeah.
sorry,
Anyway, okay,
we're
let's.
gonna get out of
Yeah. Inside Edition.
Big stars.
Welcome back to a corporate time. Let's do some voicemail email.
I like how I was like, you start, I start, you start. I'd like, could you be
That's
more
fine.
confusing, Dan? My God.
That's fine.
Voicemail messages, two ways to leave them, rather, not two-way. Two-way communicator, that's Safe Touch.
I wanted a two-way so bad when I was younger.
What, the
Yeah.
the Nextel?
Yeah.
You know, you can do that on Apple phones. Do you ever do that? Let's see if it'll work. I'm going to do that with my wife. Have you ever done it from the watch?
No.
You can-
I don't want to talk to my wife.
Okay. All right. Well, the next bit. First voicemail. No, but yeah, you can do the two-way, and I loved it. I used to love it, except one time I was making love to a girl I was dating at the time, and my friends who had two-ways that were on my two-way link decided it would be really funny because you can't stop two-ways.
Right.
You can't stop
They
it.
just break in.
They just break in.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided that for the next 2 hours, they would just like yell things, play the radio, make fart noises while I was trying to pump. And
yeah.
it's kind of like my last memory of two ways.
It is a weird. They're like, let's make this new technology old technology.
Right.
It's a walkie-talkie.
Yeah. But I always liked it because it was like instantaneous. You know, like it is old technology, but it was so much clearer than walkie-talkies. You'd have the static. You could be like literally states away and be doing it. You know, like that's cool.
Although you can get the same thing through text. Like if you want to tell someone something
Right.
and have it's text,
Text
without the
text is slower.
What do you mean?
Text is slower. Voice will always be two-way, and voice is king. If you need to say
And you don't know
something-
when they're going to see the text, but if you
Yeah.
pop in on that two-way, they can't stop it. It's
Yeah.
coming in hot.
Like you're
Yeah.
missing the point
Yeah.
of it is that
Well,
like text you can read it
instantaneous.
wrong. There's lots wrong
Yeah.
with text versus two-way. Two-way to me, if you need to get if I needed to get a message to you like light the fires or hit the bomb or what, it's two-way. I'm not texting you. You're gonna read it wrong. I mean, you're gonna be like, "Don't do the bomb." He read it wrong. No, I meant to explode the thing.
You would want to control though when someone starts screaming through your phone in whatever situation you're at.
Well,
you know,
but typically,
sitting-
I had no business having a two-way because its intention, I believe, was military application and construction and building material.
business
Businesses, like out there in the field. I don't think it was supposed to be like just some punk in his house using it just as casual talk.
Here's how I know it's a bad idea because it didn't catch on. You know anybody still using it?
I mean, it caught on, but it went away.
I think
Well,
construction
well,
guys
well-
still use it, man. I think they do.
No, still.
Oh my, sorry. We are transitioning into a full wolf there.
Oh.
Who dares talk about two ways? No, I think they still use it.
No, they
I don't
just
think you
text each
text
other.
your but no, I don't think you text the guy in the crane. I think you and then you tell him what you need to do.
I don't think they're using two-way still. Even in construction, I don't think.
Why would you? You're not texting though. I know that for a fact. The construction workers are not texting each other like, "Hey, bring the bolts." That's not happening.
Well, for work,
walkie-talkie or two-way. It's still
maybe walkie-talkie in a construction site.
Two-way radios, not cell-based, is what everybody's saying.
What do you mean?
It's two-way radios, so nothing cell-based.
Gotcha. I'm just saying that particular Nextel feature is just like I don't see anybody using it through their iPhone because I'm sure there's apps. You could do it.
What was the last year they had it, and do they still offer it? I know Apple offers sort of a version of it.
There's probably an app, right? It's like just.
I think that's what Apple's is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all you're using is cellular technology, and then just breaking through for short bursts of information or data.
I'm sure there's still walkie-talkie apps that you can get, and
you can still buy it on Nextel.
Really,
$255.
But that would be a specific purpose. So if you had a team that needed it, I could see where that would have its applications. I really could.
Does Nextel have a smartphone?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. But does it look like a regular iPhone, or like whatever?
Interesting. You don't think about Nextel, really.
Well, when you say Nextel, I think of flip phone, and I can't get it out of my head. So I can't even imagine a Nextel smartphone. I've never seen one.
Mm-mm. Mine was
a
flip.
They do, and it looks... I mean, it still has the giant antenna on top of it. You know what I mean?
Does a smartphone with a giant antenna?
Oh, yeah. It's like an iPhone with a giant antenna.
Yeah.
So, like for a construction man.
Revolutionary rugged smartphone with a built-in walkie-talkie function.
Okay.
Ideal for construction, government, contractors, and healthcare.
Yeah, definitely. Because they need that message. You're like, get over here, he's dying. They need that. You don't want to text that, get over here, he's dying.
I see you smoking weed on the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's do a
voicemail? All right, let's try this one. This is breaking news from last week, or was it yesterday? Or I guess it was last week. We were talking about the German restaurant that was in the mall.
Oh, yeah, that was it, yeah.
And we determined...
Very popular.
Yeah, we knew Mr. Dunderbox. We couldn't figure out the other one. Somebody else did, and they got it right.
Hey, Dan, I heard you guys... I heard you talking about German restaurants in the mall. There was a German restaurant at the Fashion Square Mall for years, and it was called Wunderbar. And you could go in there and get a German beer and a sandwich.
It's not Wunderbar, it's Wunderbar. You got to say it like a German. You don't say Wunderbar.
I went into the Fashion Square Mall this past weekend, and
Really?
it was a ghost town.
How'd you survive? You made it out of the upside down. You look pretty good.
What stores are still in there?
Spencer's is there.
Okay.
Yes.
Hot Topic is there, which I
Yes.
went into because I'm like, I thought this closed down. And I went through their clearance section, which I thought was buy one, get one free. And when I went to go check out, the guy's like, actually, it's buy one, get three free. They're just trying to give away things, like three
what'd you
things
buy?
for free.
How many different notebooks with a raven on it can you have?
It was weird.
Were there...
By the way, nowhere in Orlando sells female Buccaneers shirts. I searched all weekend for it.
Well, there weren't any female Buccaneers. So you're not going to find a girl pirate on the... Well, there was one, Anne Bonny. Look that up. Anne Bonny was the only female pirate of worth. And she fought with her boobs out. Did you know
Right.
that? Yeah, Anne Bonny, I believe, was the only female pirate of worth who fought with her tees out. Swording with her tees out. That's a way to live, man. I gotta tell you, if I were a pirate, I wouldn't want to wear a shirt.
Well, I feel like you'd be afraid that someone's going to chop them crazy.
No,
right?
they were small. She was like athletic built.
Well, still, though, like I feel like
know.
I want some sort of chest plate because your tees are sensitive.
They are.
right?
Mine are very. I don't even like mine. I don't even like when anybody brushes their hand on mine. So it's disturbing to even think that I have this giant tattoo on my chest. But like I'm real sensitive there, man.
Is there still Champ Sports?
There was a Champs, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No Buck shirt in there?
Nope.
All right.
Not
What about now? I am a massive both fan and it makes me sad of the mom and pop one-off is going out of business, but they just opened.
Okay.
Nothing makes me more uncomfortable than the big grand opening of something you know is going to fail. I can't look at it. You've asked me what makes me uncomfortable because it's very few things, but man, that is one. If I'm in a Fashion Square Mall with my wife and we walk past like some guy whose dream was to open up, like let's say a gummy bear store, right? All he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
is every time a gummy bear.
Yeah.
But there's, God, right now they're in this pandemic with people, and
Yeah.
they're all in the bins, right? And you got to put your hands in them and stuff. And I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, oh, this is a
Yeah,
bad idea.
yeah,
This is a bad-"
yeah.
And I'm looking at him, staring at the
Yeah,
store, and
yeah.
he's like, big grand opening banner. There's balloons, and he and
Yeah.
his wife are in there, and you could just tell that they took every bit of their money, every dime that they had to make this gummy bear store. And I walk past it, nothing. It hurts it hurts.
What-
I just want to go up to him and just hold them and just hug them and instantly buy way more gummy bears than I need, like $80 worth of gummy bears just to make them feel happy.
What do you think the rent? Okay, because I'm sure you walk past a bunch of stores that would just have the cage down and it was empty, right?
Most, yeah.
So what's the rent in one of those stores through like Simon Malls
it's
or whatever?
changed, right? I mean, right now
It's
I'd
gone
say-
down, it
Right
has
now,
to.
I'd say let's move the studio there. We can get a deal.
Well, no,
Yeah.
dude,
There is a radio.
It's like $30,000 a month. Like,
Is the radio station still in Fashion
The
Square?
creative, yeah. I forgot what they called
Well,
it.
it was a
but-
Spanish radio station.
Oh, well, that. Oh, you know what? I didn't go around that corner. I know
Okay.
where it is, though, but yeah, I didn't go around there.
Yeah, there's a Spanish radio station in this mall, which I always thought it would be kind of cool to have your radio station in a mall.
But it seems like the rent is way too much, right? Because you're basing it on foot traffic.
It has to be affordable at some of the dead malls, though, because how do those people afford it?
I think they have to have it at a certain level because other people, because you can't let out, like, if someone's paying $10,000 less than Champs, then if Champs finds out, they're going to be wanting to renegotiate with.
Of course,
you understand what
yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like you almost can't offer it too little at a discount
You'll
because
screw up all your other values.
the
Yeah.
clients you do have
Yeah.
won't be like, well, I want to pay. And I think those, like, to rent, man, I forgot. Someone told me one time, like a manager at Champs told me what they spent, like what the corporation spent for rent.
No,
at a particular
Tom
location.
Traxler started telling us mall
well,
prices.
Florida Mall is really
Dude,
expensive.
Well, because he's always
Yeah.
done, he's always done United World Soccer. Shout out to United World.
Dude,
We love that place.
I think the Disney
Disney Springs?
like that rent was like in the six figures a month.
You
or
know, I
something.
love it. I love
Like
going out
something
there,
insane.
man. I got to tell you, that is just nice. When you go out there, you're just like, this is nice.
Yeah,
man.
but you're paying.
That's some upscale, beautiful walking.
You imagine paying 6 figures a month for rent for your store. I mean, now you got to sell a lot of whatever.
Well, I mean, a good thing for him is that soccer's important.
Look up what the rent is. I bet online it will tell you in a Fashion Square Mall for a space, the standard store space.
Well, you want to get it for storage?
No, I'm not. I'm curious of how expensive and how much of a waste it is. Like, because I'm thinking it's.
$10,000 a month?
I think it's more. I think you're, going into the 2025 kiosk less. I bet kiosk you get like
All right.
4 or 5 grand a month.
My God, what are they online? Sam's already chatting with a customer. They need people, and they're so bad that she's already signing the contract.
Yeah, or maybe it's less than I think.
They have different rates
Okay.
depending on like where it is in the mall. And
Yeah.
things like that.
I could see that.
They have a specialty leasing program.
Okay.
So for a 12-month lease, for their average rates between $900 and $1,200 per month with $100 one-time fee. That's cheap.
That's cheaper than here.
Whoa, that's
cheaper than here.
900.
Monthly rates are based on location and square footage. So if you can get a
Bigger and
small
cheaper than
space-
here. No, it'd be bigger and cheaper than here, guaranteed, because the smallest space there is
The kiosk.
still-
That's a kiosk
Oh,
fee.
okay, all right.
Okay.
That's expensive then. More
Yeah.
expensive than here, but still
No, I was about to say,
cheaper than I
there's
thought.
no way a store will be 9 to 12. We
Standard-
pay 1,200
and then it says
a
it's-
month for here.
I was
A
getting
standard
pissed.
could be $1,000 to $1,400 a month, and then there's a standard.
Now wait a minute,
RMU.
that's not that bad. $1,400 a month for a big
It's-
unit like a Champs.
it's-
That's a value.
No, it can't. It's got to be more. I'm telling you, it can't be.
Sam,
This is
shoot 'em an email.
OrlandoFashionSquare.com/leasing.
Shoot them an email and ask them, say, hey, our store we want to open is about the size of a standard Champs, and see what they say. If they say 1,400, I'm like, wow, a good deal.
It seems like that's way too low, right?
And all the bourbon chicken you can eat.
Especially from what Traxler told us about like Disney Springs. I know Disney
Yeah,
Springs
but
is
that's
a different
animal.
It's still, but he told me a number
dude,
that
Fashion Square's barely trudging
you haven't been
along,
in there
dude.
in the last.
I know, but
Remember the last time we did a
3 years
go-to
ago.
show?
3 years ago.
There's less stuff in there now than there was then.
But they
of
could-
course, because of the pandemic and whatnot.
yeah, but at that price, there's no way they could even. I mean, think about how big that. What are they paying property tax a year? A month?
I don't know.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
Like, it's got to be an insane amount
Bizarre
of money.
amount
So
that you're not going to recoup with $1,400 a month for a chance.
how much is AC and
Could
electric?
someone live
Yes.
at a store in the
Well,
mall?
you couldn't tell anybody.
It's
but
cheaper than rent in Orlando?
Sure, you could.
No, I mean,
it's
there's
cheaper than rent
zoning.
around here. What do you think?
We couldn't live in here because
No.
they would kick us out.
Well, I don't think they'd be able to find us.
No,
really.
it'd be hard.
I don't
but-
think they'd find you at the mall. But what do you think a unit like the bigger apartments over here that you don't get the bottom floor, you get the upper top floor? That's huge. It's huge though. What do you think they are around here? Because I just found one. I asked the guy. I go, hey. Like a realtor around the corner, he's putting out the sign and everything. I go, hey, just out of curiosity, I live right here. What are you charging?
An apartment?
Apartment.
What is it? How many bedrooms?
4 bedroom. It's big.
So
4 bedroom, 2.5 bath.
4 bedroom, 2 bath. How many square foot?
Under mine, under 2,000.
But above 1,700.
Above 1,500.
Okay, something like that.
Yeah.
I'll say
I'd say closer to 2,700.
it is 2,200 a month. 2,800.
You hit it on the nut.
Okay.
2,800.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Expensive, man.
It's too much.
Dude, cost of living. Remember when Big Ten was trying to find a place to rent? Like, you
Yes.
can't find a place to rent.
No.
Like, housing is
insane.
insane.
I don't even know anybody that could rent that. There's some of the other houses Andrea found and found what the rent was. It was $4K, like $4,200 a month for a house to live in. I'm like, my God.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of money, but it's like you're not living in a mansion. You're just living in a nice house. But it's
even
still,
if you get a 1-1 apartment in Orlando right now, it's like $2,000.
you know what I've seen lately that I'm kind of fascinated with because I do like small spaces are these micro hotels that you can rent. Like when you go to they're real popular in like Boston, New York City, Chicago. It's a hip hotel where they like big food court area, big bar, party area, and big pool. But the rooms are like if you're a businessman or if you're just there to,
a bed and a bathroom
to
or
visit.
something?
Yeah, it's super
like a
nice.
hostel style?
But it's way upscale. It's like you get like a little desk that's like marble and a nice bed, but it's like it's almost like Asian style, like almost like a little Japanese efficiency. You have like air, you have like a kitchenette,
So
coffee.
it's like the size of this room, but it's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
But it's like a micro luxury. So it's like you still pay a lot because you're in the heart of like Manhattan or whatever, like you're right downtown, but your room is like about the size of this.
Gotcha.
It's weird. But it's kind of cool looking.
Makes sense because what do you need? I mean, think about it, like most people, how like you're not hanging out inside your hotel room, you're sleeping in there, right?
There was a
That's it.
part of a point of time in my life where I always wanted the hotel rooms that have the living room.
Well, that's when it's fancy.
So that's when you know you're fancy. Right? Like you have a
Sweet.
bedroom, and then out there you have like a living room where you can go to and watch TV. And I remember I got one of those, and I was like, "This is amazing." But there was also a part of me that said, "This is too much. You don't need this."
What's
This
the
is a waste."
nicest hotel room you've ever been in, Samantha?
That one at for me, the one in Dominican Republic with the pool in the room.
Oh yeah,
I was going to
yeah.
say in Mexico for my honeymoon.
Yeah.
Nice.
A lot of times, mine was in Orlando, and it was, I don't even know if this even exists anymore. I think it does, but you know that hotel that's downtown, but it's where like the Predator or the arena football players used to stay, like when their away game or like another team coming to town or whatever.
Oh,
Bushy gave it
The
to
Grand
me.
Bohemian?
Not the Grand Bohemian. It's a hotel. It's on 50, but right next to I-4. And it was the penthouse I got.
Oh,
that
wow.
Bushy gave to me after we got married
Bushy
at a
gave you
halftime show.
He gave you the penthouse room where all the main owners would go to cheat on their wives. He gave you the cheating penthouse.
And it was after me and Crystal got married at a halftime show at the Predators game. He gave it to me like as a wedding gift.
You go up there and throw her dress over her head and
No.
you go to Pound Town?
No, I actually remember Crystal took pictures of me showering because I had poop oil from my bear suit.
Excuse me?
I had pooped my pants a little bit.
Oh, man.
During,
Wait a minute. These are wedding memories.
Wow.
Hold on, don't mess up the
We're going
wedding
to be on
memories.
network television tonight.
Are we? Tell this story. You need to tell this
should
story.
tell
on
this
this on
story.
edition. You'd be like, I had poop oil in my bear suit.
Oh, someone's gonna pull this for sure.
We're like, who is that? Is there Billy Bush back there? What's Billy Bush doing nowadays? He got
don't know.
excommunicated from everything.
And then about
I'd be mad if I was Billy because
about
I'd be
a
like,
year
what?
ago-
The other guy's president. Right? He's just as popular.
I got effed.
Yeah, like, everybody hates me. I think including the Trump supporters, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody just hates him because
You were trying to get him to say something. You were one of them.
Oh, Billy.
I think about a year ago, he came out of retirement or like out of seclusion rather, and said, "I'm ready to go back." And then everybody was like, "Yeah, you might be ready, but we're cool."
No one's
I think
hiring.
everybody's like, "We're cool."
I'm surprised he didn't have his own podcast or something.
He probably did.
You know.
But so many people have podcasts now. The only way.
It's in podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Everybody, right?
Sometimes I forget I have a podcast. Like sometimes I wake up, I'm like, what am I going to do today? I'm a free man. I'm like, oh my God, you have a job, you have a company, you have a podcast. You got to get to work. This morning I forgot about I had my crown, my permanent crown put in. Boy, that is some magic, right? Where they can mold my tooth. Like, what do they chop the top of my tooth off and then they put a fake hat tooth on my tooth?
Yeah, no, they grind it down.
What does it
to a
look like
nub.
ground down?
It's like a little cylinder nub.
I can feel it with my tongue. It felt like a little stick.
Oh,
Like,
Billy Bush replaced Mario Lopez for Extra.
No one
So
can
now,
replace
as
Mario.
of 2019. Yes.
Nobody can replace. 5 minutes until these people are going to call us.
All right. So if you've been listening to this, maybe you could look at Inside Edition, or is it not that? Was it? What is it?
Yeah, it's Inside Edition.
Oh, okay.
Getting confused.
So we'll be on
Unless
that,
they switch us to Outside Edition. I hope not.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to be on the Outside Edition.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, is
Hey.
it possible for you to take off your graphics on the Zoom?
Sure. Let's see what it looks like, though. I'm not gonna be confident that it's gonna look as pretty. Let me see here.
I'm sure it won't.
There we go. We're done.
Okay.
We're good.
And then we have the fish down here. Is it
Okay.
possible for us to not feature the fish?
I think I can do that for you. Yeah, I think I can. Let me see. Fish are gone. Look at that technology.
Look at that. Okay. And then it's just the three of you, right?
That's
Yes.
it.
Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna put it on speaker view.
No, but see, that's
no.
one. That's one.
Oh,
That's
got
one
it.
output.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's fine. They'll just have to.
Do you want us to put it on one camera and then?
Yeah.
I can-
And then whoever speaks, it'll highlight.
Okay.
Sure.
Or I can go. I could go
Sit in his lap.
Yeah, I'll sit with you, Daniel,
No, it
and
works.
then we can.
we can just all get on the couch.
That also works.
You want to do that?
Yeah. Can we do the couch? Okay,
Yeah. Let me kill that background for her, and there.
Wow.
How about the couch? We can go to the couch.
You have multiple angles. You've got graphics.
Here we are. Does this work better for you?
It does.
Let me turn on that mic. Which one are you on, Blue?
Right? Like, it's a podcast. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead and talk for me, buddy.
Check. This mic.
Blue.
Okay.
There you go. All right. How about that? Is that better?
That looks awesome. Yes.
Okay.
And do we have your lovely co-host joining?
Yeah. Samantha.
Yeah, you can
wanna
come
go?
over here, Sam.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'll turn it on. There you go. We never sit where our guests sit.
Yeah. It makes sense because if you're showing us all on one screen, you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect, right? Any chance the camera can go a tiny bit tighter on you guys?
Yeah. Give me a second. Let me go here. Click it. Is that better?
Love it. Yep, that's great.
Okay, and I don't know how I'm going to look, but you'll tell me.
I'll
so.
scoot
You'll
over.
just have to get cozy.
Yep.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's great.
Cool.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. Perfect. Okay, if you guys could just start by each saying and spelling your full names.
Okay, sure. Dan Dennis, DanDennis.
Awesome.
Tom Van, TomVann.
Samantha Har, SAMANTHAHAAR.
Okay, amazing. And you guys are the hosts of?
A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, so your podcast interview with Bob Saget is obviously making a lot of headlines. Why don't you guys just start by telling me about when he came on the show? Was it virtual? Was it in person? And what was it like talking to him back then?
It was last Tuesday. He came on to promote his Hard Rock Live appearance that was going to be on Friday. And so he called in, actually.
Yeah, it was a phone call.
It was just a regular phone call, and we interviewed him for about 20 to 25 minutes. Talked to him about a variety of different topics, and basically his appearance on Friday, and promoted that. And I think we talked to him about like Dirty Work and
Norm Macdonald. We talked a little bit about Norm, and we talked a little bit about about the new projects and how excited he was to have a new stand-up special that he said in his own words would be probably his best stuff he's ever written.
Yeah, and his podcast that he's gotten, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and how did he sound?
Yeah, he sounded good to us.
He was in good spirits, yeah.
Yeah, definitely in good spirits. I mean, we were sort of bummed that we got a phone call and instead of the Zoom as normal, but he's a busy dude, so we're just happy to get him. And he's been on our show how many times now? 4, maybe 3 or 4 times, and he's always the best. So yeah, we thought everything was great, and we were just excited to have him back in Orlando.
He mentioned, like, we just got over COVID over Christmas, and we were talking to him about that, and he mentioned that he had it, and I think we were talking about how the even though you're vaccinated, it was a pain in the butt, and made him feel bad. So he mentioned a little bit about that. So that led me to believe that he had already recently gone through it, just like we had. And he mentioned that he was on cold medicine, which I imagine is typical of someone traveling a lot. You pick up stuff.
The sniffles are cold.
But other than that, like, he was in good spirits, and
he had really good shows. The 2 Florida shows that he had here.
Yeah, Orlando and Jacksonville, from our listeners, said he crushed it.
Yeah. So when they saw him live, they said it was normal. He had energy, and everything was normal with the shows.
Yeah. So when you guys heard this tragic news, given that you just had him on a week ago, what did you think?
I was shocked.
Yeah, and we
didn't
all
see that coming at all.
Yeah, we're all super sad, obviously, and our thoughts go out to his family, and we were just, really sad about the news, and
he's such a kind and loving guy, when he doesn't need to be. We get a lot of people that come through, and a lot of comedians that'll come through and do interviews, and Bob's definitely one of the best at it. And I think Orlando really loves him because he goes on multiple radio shows here. He has multiple presence around here. I think he likes it. So we were just kind of heartbroken but also happy, obviously, that we got a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Did it sound like he had COVID recently?
He when we talked to him about us having COVID, he was like, "Oh yeah, I went through it, and it was not
like
fun."
It was some time ago.
Yeah, he didn't go into detail.
We don't really know.
Yeah, but it sounded like, from what he mentioned, that he didn't have COVID at the time because obviously he was singing, he was performing. So, but it sounded like he had gone through it recently, just like it seems like everybody is right now, and then gotten over it. But he just made a passing comment about it.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. And so now, what is it like for you guys to have this interview that's going viral? So many people honing in on the details and looking at it for clues, really.
Well, for Bob and his family, like, we just talked to him about, we wanted to promote his event. We want our listeners to go to his event. Sure. We were happy to talk with him because he's such a nice guy. So I don't know, like, when you said it going viral, we didn't even know.
We just learned about it a little bit ago.
Yeah,
that
something came out on TMZ, and then they mentioned our podcast, and I think maybe because Bob retweeted it.
He did, yeah. He put it out there, and and that's the kind of guy he was. If he goes on any shows, I know he's on us, he's on the Monsters, different shows, and he would retweet it and try to help those shows out to promote having him on. That's just the type of guy.
Yeah. So as far as what, people, listening to it and trying to speculate what happened, we it's hard for us to comment on that because for us in the interview, it was a regular interview and Bob was funny and great with us and took the time to tell us some stories that were awesome. But other than that, there was nothing that led us to believe that there was any sort of hidden clues inside the podcast.
Right.
Unless, but that's what everybody does on the internet nowadays. Is
It's
they,
only viral because we're all kind of sad.
yeah, and then they want to speculate what could happen, but other than that, we just found out about it a couple hours ago. Our producer Samantha told us like, hey, it got put up on TMZ, and so we were kind of shocked by that. And then you guys emailed us, so it basically we had no idea until a couple hours ago.
Yeah, got it. Well, thank you so much to the three of you for doing this. Is there anything else you wanted to mention just before we let you go?
Not really.
I mean,
But thank you for the time.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
And obviously, we,
yeah,
super sad, and our heart goes out to his family and daughters and wife, and it's a bummer.
yeah, we're all bummed out, and
Orlando loves Bob Saget, so
yeah,
it's a bummer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Take
Thank
care.
you. Yeah, you
No
too.
problem.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to a corporate time. All right, we were just on Inside Edition.
Oh my God.
Hold on. We don't know.
We gave them a stinker.
We don't know.
Yeah, they might cut it. They might cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it'll never air.
You know why? I'm gonna.
We didn't give
Let's
them
bet.
anything juicy
Let's
enough.
bet, because
Right.
there's nothing juicy. Let's give.
But I
them.
could have made it up, and
We
that's what they
could've.
wanted. That's
could've.
that's all they wanted is for us to do some Florida. They wanted me
They
to take my
wanted
shirt
full
off.
Florida.
Yeah. They wanted me to start screaming everything.
No, do I get free beers now from Will's Pub if I was on Inside Edition in a Will's Pub shirt?
That's
Well,
a
they
good
never air
question.
it.
At
They
least
won't air
one
it.
free beer, right? A draft.
I bet you.
Or like an ice cold
They'll
Modelo.
type something up for their website instead, and
Put
they'll
it
just
on the
like
web?
they did mention he was sick. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't want to be that. Well, he was.
I know
He
they're
said
gonna.
that.
I know, but they're gonna spin it to make it look like it's something else
Yeah,
that
to
we
get a
didn't
click.
say.
Yeah. Well, that's what you need a click. Listen. I am human clickbait.
Okay,
I'll give anybody, but the
I
problem
don't
is
think
I don't
people
want
know
to be.
what we're talking about. So Inside Edition,
Yeah.
let me reset. Inside Edition contacted us via email. We're live on the show, and we're doing it on Twitch. And Inside Edition's like, yo, can you guys talk about your interview that's gone viral with Bob Saget? Well, we didn't know.
Has it gone viral?
I
And
don't
how
think
viral
so.
has it gone?
Check the downloads.
No, it's not. I checked it. It's the same. It's like,
No, I think
No.
they mean the clip from TMZ has gone viral.
yeah, but
right?
Oh,
TMZ,
has that? How many
TMZ
people-
took our audio, and I guess
Right.
it's newsworthy, so I guess they're allowed to do that. I don't know the rules anymore. I mean, I'd like to say TMZ, don't steal our audio, give us a
Nah,
click.
you could,
but I think you can do that. And what do I care? I got to do this again tomorrow. I don't have time to talk to TMZ. But anyway, so they took a piece of our interview with Bob Saget. And by the way, the Monsters had him on. Other shows have had him on. But it's not like this is like one in a million. I mean, I guess we were honestly one of the last media outlets to talk to him.
Well, I think the Monsters are technically because he was on Zoom with them.
Yeah, I mean,
just
he's-
look at the draw that they,
Yeah.
Yep, we're on HollywoodLife.com. Picked up the story and said that
God.
we were his final interview.
I like
before
that.
his death.
Oh,
I like that they got it wrong too. I think
know,
it was Monsters. I think you're right. It
you
was
know,
not us.
The only thing that makes me happy is how mad Russ is going to be about this.
Damn it.
It's a Stone Cold Killer over here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make you guys
Yeah,
laugh.
I know. I'll leave it at it. Leave it at
And I'm saying how I feel. I'm just messing
Okay,
around.
yeah, we're just messing around. It's all jokes.
But
Hey,
he
the death
is
of
gonna be mad.
He will. The death of somebody nice, though.
No, that- yeah,
is
that's-
never
yeah.
something.
I know.
Nobody
That's-
likes that. Everybody at that radio station cares about Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Now that is something I know.
Yeah, no,
that
yeah,
is something I know
100%,
about. Is that everybody there cares about him? You know, he was always kind. Even when we worked on the morning show, he was kind. That's why there's such a good relationship between him and the station.
But again, what are you gonna say? Like, and that's the weird
know,
part
man.
about it is like nowadays media trying to grab a hold of any morsel of content. Like, it's
A
weird.
little yucky, right? A little yucky. But I didn't feel like she didn't try to ask us or lead us down anything weird. Or, you know, she's,
Well, what could you again? I wanted to give her the goods and just
whoa,
start.
hey, you're not allowed to say that.
No, but I'm just
you're not
start
allowed to say you wanted to give her the goods.
because I know what like.
Give me the goods then. If I pretend to be...
Well, I'm gonna say if I was cheesy and just a publicity whore that just wanted to do.
So you just ease it, little things that they.
If I was stereotypical radio show host,
All right.
which
you're going that direction.
Yeah,
I mean, you only have 10 more years, and I think you get
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. I think you get the card.
But then you start saying whatever you can, which is
Hold on a second.
horrible.
The chat room is telling me something very shocking.
What?
The chat room is telling me that when I framed up the shot, because we all sat on our couch in here, we didn't sit in our normal positions.
Right, she wanted us all together.
The chat room is telling me that when I framed the shot that you had on your Tiny Dukes and you had a manto, and that you were adjusting yourself throughout the interview.
No.
Is that true?
Is it true that
What?
you were inappropriately moving your chubbies around during?
I have. Well, I didn't know it was going
And
to be
you
on
have
TV.
on
I have
the
short or
ones.
short.
You have the short ones on today.
Yeah, none of us knew. We probably would have dressed a little nicer.
Yeah,
Looked a
I
little
have
nicer today.
I have on a
I didn't
Will
straighten
Strom
my hair
shirt.
today.
I wore this yesterday. I didn't want to tell you guys that.
thank
And
you.
I'm wearing a hat because I didn't want to do my hair. You're wearing your shorts are almost inappropriate. They're almost bongo level. They're bongos.
I got tiny mercuries on.
If you stood up, I think your ass cheeks are hanging out the bottom of your pants like the girls in the Fashion Square Mall.
Well, that's because they hang low like bulldog cheeks.
Yeah, I think you. But
Oh,
the
now I
chat
gotta go
room-
back and watch the
Yeah,
video.
the chat room's now telling me that you were full camel toe.
Well, now they definitely can't use this
Yeah.
footage.
Well, maybe
That's
they'll use
obscene for
the camel toe.
primetime TV.
Just the camel toe.
Like, they'll be like, look at this man's
We
camel
can't.
toe.
We can't do anything with the interview, but put the camel toe on the web for the clicks. You want to
Anyway.
do some voicemails, or you
Yeah,
like?
yeah. Well, they'll
Uh-oh.
never air that on TV because we didn't give them anything. But then if I gave them something, it would be cheese D, and then our listeners will nonstop clown me, and they'll be like, "Oh,
Well, they're
look at
clowning you
guys."
now for having a
That's
tiny
true,
show.
yeah.
Well, that's different.
And I have on a Dare keep kids off drug shirt.
No,
Or
we're
hat.
embarrassing ourselves.
Sam's
We
the only
should've
one that
never
was
done that.
actually wearing proper shirt. She had a Tom and Dan shirt.
Yeah, but I have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hoodie on over. But it is a Tom and Dan hoodie.
You didn't take your hoodie off?
No.
And show off the golden gooses?
I did not show
Come
off
on.
the
God,
gooses.
that's all we got.
I covered up.
Why?
I showed my
Why
man.
you doing
I
that?
showed the camel toe.
We get Inside Edition is you put on your Billie Eilish sweatshirt. By the way, newsflash, Billie Eilish.
We
take
can
the
still
sweatshirt
see
off.
'em.
You got to pull those things out.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
glorious.
And
Why
I-
is Billie Eilish hiding those things? Because she
What?
doesn't want to be sexualized? Okay, I get it. But you're beautiful.
I think she was hiding them when she was underage.
Yeah, she
Well,
did
then
do that.
she should hide them when you're underage.
Yeah,
but
she did.
you know, look, at 21, 18, what I ate,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
good-looking lady. Freedom, power.
So we'll see if that goes on, and but I highly doubt it.
Yeah,
because I there was no way I was gonna start going into giving them what they want because it's too cheesy, dude. It's
Well, but-
too cheesy.
but again,
because
I'm-
I can't with a straight
Yeah,
face be
we're
like,
not gonna do that.
I don't know. He was sniffling, and he said he took some Dayquil. Like, what? That's nothing to do with anything.
We're not
Like
the-
that has nothing to do with his passing. I don't know if it does or not, but I'm not going to start speculating about his health on a show when we interviewed him over the phone.
But I'll be honest with you guys and share something I talked about earlier where I just said, like, I don't know, man, like in the long lines of like tragedies that we've had in Orlando over the past, let's say 10 years, you know, or 15, whether you say like Casey Anthony, Poltz, you know, I mean, I'm not comparing them, but it just seems like is it because of the amount of people we get here? Isn't that weird? It's just weird that it's Orlando.
Yeah.
I'm not at all comparing. I'm just saying it just, you know, you put that one on the timeline, right? Of like, oh, where were you when, you know, because, you know, somebody used a phrase this morning on one of the like Good Morning America or whatever, where they said, America's TV dad.
Yeah.
Do you agree with? I agree with that. For my generation, at least, whether he caught you on America's Funniest Home Videos or you got
Full
him on
House,
Full House,
yeah.
there wasn't one kid I knew of, or at least that I grew up with, that didn't gravitate to one of those shows.
yeah,
Even if you didn't like Fuller House, because I can see you thinking it's cheesy and you know I'm not into it. But there wasn't one kid I grew up with that didn't like America's Funniest Home Videos with Bob Saget. Not one.
I feel like if you're 35 to 45,
He's got you.
maybe older than 35, because Sam, when did you watch Full House growing
Yeah.
up? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So right
I'm
around
the
that.
same age as the Olsen twins.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how old are the Olsen twins?
35.
Oh, okay.
I said they're
I
the
don't-
same age as me.
I
You
don't
could have
know
just
your
asked
age.
me how old I was.
What?
I wanted to ask the older because I felt it disrespectful that I didn't know your age.
The
I've known
Olsen
you for 15
twins.
years.
This
Huh?
is a hot take. The Olsen twins look way older than you. What?
They're
I'm not-
smokers.
I'm-
I quit
are they
smoking. a few years-
really?
Yeah, they smoke crazy.
They still smoke?
Dude, at the I forget.
Well, hold on a second.
One of their
Now
weddings.
now
the one
I
that
respect
was,
it.
The one that was just married to the French guy. At her wedding, she had packs of cigarettes and ashtrays on each table, like at the dinner table.
I don't know if that's trashy or cool. I don't know where I'm at
A
on
little
that.
bit of both.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
sad.
It is awesome sad. Write that down for
I don't know
Awesome
if you're-
Sad Awards.
if you're-
That's good. I didn't know they
Isn't
also
that nuts?
I did not know they still smoke. That's
Yeah.
blowing my mind. Right now, 2022, Danny
They don't
Dennis sitting
vape?
in the studio. They smoke.
Cigarettes. They love them.
They don't vape?
They love them. Cigarettes.
I love cigarettes.
Maybe-
Cigarettes are one of my favorite things in the world.
Maybe with enough money, you can somehow do something about the cancer.
I remember as a kid hearing from like one of my friends that like I thought was like super smarter, where he like broke it down like this. He's like, "Hey, you know, like in Europe, French people they can smoke one cigarette a day." Because they can keep it under control and it's like not a big deal and they could do that for the rest of their lives. Like cigarettes in France, they don't abuse them like we do. I remember hearing somebody say that to me, and then I remember thinking, I think I can go through life being the type of person that every day I can have one cigarette, until I started smoking them and I realized that I wanted 3.5 packs a day. I was 3.5 packs a damn day.
Oh, that's the same thing with wine. Oh, glass of wine. Good
Right.
for your heart. Well, good luck with that.
So how many
Because I
cigarettes are the
want 5.
Olsons chugging? Because Danny Denny, I was the
Oh, they're-
greatest smoker on this show. Nobody could outsmoke
for sure,
me.
yeah.
I was 3.5 packs a day.
That's too much.
3.5 packs of cigarettes
That's
a day.
gross.
I could smoke 20 before 10:30.
Come
dude.
on, too much.
Loved them.
Yeah, you could have
Loved 'em.
Anything in moderation would be fine. You could,
One cigarette a day for the rest of my life, and I'll be all right.
You could have a couple cigarettes a day for the rest of your life. You'll be fine.
Everybody in the chat room is just going sideways on how disgusting I am.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
And I stopped.
you like a couple links of sausage a day, but you start having 5 pounds in the morning. You know, like then you're
What
like,
were-
oh, okay.
What'd you ever get up to? Because I know I always trounced everybody. I
I only ever
I was
like
gross.
broke a pack a day when I was like partying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me too.
But
I didn't
hardly ever.
I was
wasn't-
2-pack easy for a long time, and then something accelerated it.
I smoked when like drive to work in the morning, right? And then like maybe a break at the radio station, and then but really the most disgusting smoking I did was like at bars or partying.
Right.
Then
Yeah,
you
I'm
start
nervous smoking.
Chain smoking.
I,
Yeah.
I smell like 10
downstairs.
cigarettes, and then you get drunk, and then you feel poisoned.
Oh,
like that.
Yeah.
That's
that
the worst hangover
Yeah.
the next day.
the alcohol
hangover is
and yeah, mixed with the alcohol and the cigarettes mixed together is the worst hangover.
I used to go down, and I think you even commented on this one time. Like,
Gross.
I think this might have led to our friendship, where you made a comment about me smoking so much because I would run downstairs with you guys to smoke.
Yeah, but you smoke 2.
3, dude.
Oh, okay.
2
Best.
or 3. 2 or 3. I'd light them off of each other, and even he would make a comment like, "Oh, yo, slow down there, Junior. What are what are you doing there?"
yeah, it's too much.
Now, how much more damage did I do to myself than anybody else, or is that all good now? Because I haven't smoked in forever.
Yeah, I think it heals itself or something.
But,
What I know.
Something.
You know,
What
we
about
should
you,
have told,
Sam?
we
Where'd
should
you
have
go?
told Inside Edition.
What do you-
About a pack?
only if I was drinking. If not, I probably smoked like 10 cigarettes a day, like half a pack a day.
I wish
on
I,
average.
see, I think that's I think that's most people. You were like about 10 a day, right?
I've smoked a couple cigarettes with Samantha.
Oh yeah,
Whoa,
the cruises
hold
on
on
the
a
cruise.
second. I want to
Cruises.
smoke with you guys.
Some of the early cruises.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me smoke with you guys next time.
I remember.
Okay.
We'll never go on cruises again, though.
I remember being hammered drunk, and we were in the back of the cruise ship smoking cigarettes. And like they shut down like all the pool and stuff. Like we weren't even supposed to be there, and we were smoking. Then I remember us smoking in the casinos.
Yep.
The high point of me smoking, I had an apartment over by UCF, the one that I broke the screen door.
Yeah.
I had just gotten a little bit of credit. I bought myself a Gateway computer. I set it all up and made it look nice. I had a little corner desk. And I didn't like being able to play like chat on ICQ or get in chat rooms or, this is when the internet is just sort of blossoming, right? I didn't like having to go outside to smoke and come in. So I just said, screw it, I'm going to smoke inside my apartment. And that was when I truly just gave up. I just said, I'm going to smoke in my apartment.
yeah.
And then it led from computer table. And then I noticed over a few months of smoking in my apartment that my Gateway, my beautiful Gateway computer with the little cow icon on the front that you would tap to turn it on, started to turn yellow because I would smoke while I was on my ICQ and it started to turn yellow like a serial killer's computer.
Yeah.
And then I started smoking in my bedroom. I'd sit in my bed and smoke and read Playboy magazines.
See, even
Oh my God, that's trashy.
even my mom now smokes outside, which I thought she'd never do in my entire life. Like I thought she was smoking inside the house forever, and she now has adopted. I'm gonna sit out in the porch and smoke. And so, who smokes in their house still?
My
And if-
grandma.
Plenty of people
but
do.
I'm saying young. Are there any 25-year-olds
I think it'll come
I'm
back
sure.
around. I think it'll come back around.
that smoke in
When's the
the
last time you've been to a trailer park?
Oh, yeah. But
Well, I think I'd smoke in a trailer, right? That's not really a house.
It still stains the walls.
oh yeah.
Is there any way to stop it from staining the walls?
No.
No, yeah.
You'll just have to constantly clean them.
There's no, like, you mean to tell me in this day and age where I can put a VR set on and smoke a cigarette while I'm doing VR, you mean to tell me they can't make some sort of a device that I can blow my smoke into that'll ionize it or take out the yellow? Or
Well,
something?
yeah, if you-
Come
yeah,
on, they gotta have something. A
well-
mask I can wear.
Yeah, but I think no one who smokes inside their house cares about them. Like, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
exactly.
if you're willing to smoke it at that point, because
Because then everything smells
you
like
could
smoke.
you could just walk outside like 10 feet, right? I imagine, and then smoke outside, but you choose to smoke inside, and at that point, you have chosen poorly.
My wife
Like-
asked me if I ever smoked inside my car.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I only had a few cars that I smoked inside of. But I
But I never put the cigarettes inside the car's ashtray.
I did that
You
once or
toss
twice.
them out the window
Oh
like an
yeah,
animal?
I littered.
And then you'd have that mark
Because
on
I
your
was like, I'm not-
headliner where you'd catch the headliner. My dad would catch the headliner with his chair. He'd be like, oh, God damn it.
Oh yeah.
He'd be mad.
I remember I burnt the inside of a Mazda 6 like for a radio station promotion. They gave me a Mazda 6.
Yes,
to drive
I
around.
remember that. And you smoked inside of it. I remember I was appalled.
I smoked inside it.
You and Samantha, you and Savannah
How dare you.
smoked inside the Monster Mini and smoked it all
Oh,
out
yeah,
to the
yeah,
point
yeah.
where the Mini dealership wanted to make a radio station buy the effing car.
yeah.
I love that story. That's a goodie.
Well, I was like, well, I'm just an intern, so I'm, it's the person that works here's fault.
Wait a minute.
You know.
Your Mazda 6, I think I may have smoked in that with you.
No, that was after you quit. Because
Oh, was it after I quit?
I also drove it through a flood in Deltona, which the water was coming over the hood. Because Lake Monroe, this is true. I was smoking and I got up to Providence. No, it wasn't Providence. I think it was DeBerry Avenue. It was whatever. I think DeBerry is the first, that exit 104, right? The first exit of Deltona, you get off, and I took a left because I lived off
when
Providence.
you come off that exit, you're the same level or lower than the river. Like you come out and you're lower than the river. You're like, oh God.
Like it rained crazy and Lake Monroe flooded, so like I think DeBerry Avenue was all flooded,
Yeah.
and I remember like this big ass FP&L truck like went through, and I was like, well, I can make it through.
I have a Mazda 6. This is a 6 for Christ's sake, not a 7. 6.
And I remember, like, the trick is you can't stop because if you stop, then the water gets in your exhaust and then it'll conk your car.
Oh,
out.
is that the trick?
Yeah, so you never can stop. So even when water's coming over the hood, you have to keep moving
You gotta
forward.
keep gunning it. Even if you run into something, just keep your foot on the accelerator. You can't let that water get in.
And I remember I was going, and I was like, all right, it's not that bad. I was like, oh, it dipped a little bit, and then all of a sudden it started coming. And then water was getting into the door jams, like coming
Yes.
like, and I remember like burned the headliner,
Yes.
water in the. And
I
was
love
like,
it. And it was a free car. I love that. I love that.
I think I had like 1 mile when they gave it to me, and then I remember when I returned it.
It had like 1,000 miles on it. It stunk like crap inside. Like, it smelled like fast food and cigarettes inside.
I was like, I cannot let anybody.
Did you get it
in this.
cleaned?
No, I was poor.
Before you turned it in?
I was dirt poor and I didn't care about my job. Obviously, I hated my job. Hated it. Like
Sure.
it wasn't my. Like they weren't. They gave me the car to drive around the radio station making the money, so I was mad about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't give a damn, but I was too awkward to like have them inspect it or whatever. So I remember I told the guy, because he's like, hey, can you drop it off by 5? I showed up at like 5:10.
4:59.
No,
Oh.
5:10, and I'm like, man, I just missed you. I'm gonna leave in the parking lot and put the keys underneath the tire on the back tire. And then
No, I would have gone more elaborate. I was like, I'll have my intern run it by, but he smokes. I hope he gets it there. Blame it on him.
And then I remember I
I lied.
left Crystal's Queen trilogy CDs in the
Oh, can't forget the Queen trilogies.
and the dish
This is
changer
before streaming.
and she was mad because
I want to listen. I want to ride my bicycle.
And I remember just like, do you think you can go back and ask again? I'm like, no, we're getting nothing back.
I'll swing it for you. Here's a killer queen. Roll on with a laser beam. 100 miles at the top of the plane. Going to blow your mind. Here, this is for you. You'll like this one. This will solve a problem in your house.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam.
Hey, bud.
In reference to Tom asking what you do with the Lego pieces and who wants just random Lego pieces. Actually, a lot of people want random Lego pieces, and also people sell and buy it by the pound, like if it's drugs. So there you go. Don't just throw away the Legos. Once your kids are done with them, bag them up, sell them on the streets.
No, apparently there is a website where you bag your Legos, you weigh them and send them to them, and they'll just give you money for the weight of your Legos. They put them back in, they clean them, and then recycle them and resell them.
The Lego company.
No. A secondary company buying Legos.
Third party
like,
dealer.
Yeah, almost like reselling your video games to GameStop, and then they sell them.
How much do they give you per pound? I feel like a pound of Legos is a lot.
That does seem like a lot.
That's got to be a gallon Ziploc bag. More than
It
that.
would depend on the size of the piece, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
If it's those little dots.
Oh, yeah, the hats.
Yeah, the little hats.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Tracy's doing a whole map of the hats. That nothing would drive me more crazy than to stick on 1,000 little Lego hats of different colors.
Yeah.
And then look, the world. You know what's better than that? A real map.
Yeah, I can see it online.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful. Like this has no points on it.
Yeah, I just feel like they're not.
Sorry, Tracy.
They're not giving you that much per pound. Like what, $1 or $5 a pound?
I don't know.
Like less than $5, right?
No idea.
Anyway, it's
Tactical
not
Hat
worth
is
the
saying,
time.
I'll estimate a pound of Lego is probably 500 pieces.
Well, again, though, Daniel's what size pieces? You know,
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, standard Legos in a gallon Ziploc bag, filled to the packed. I would say that's got to be close to a pound, right?
I'd agree. Oh,
Maybe-
we got to get out of here, buddy.
Bye-bye.